Hey everyone, it's Tom Kradza, and we have a great episode coming up for you with Greg Kowalczyk and Brian Zammit, the e-commerce guys. We've had them on before. Such a great response to the first episode that we decided to bring them back again. They are just so knowledgeable with this stuff. Today we're going to be talking about private labeling products and wholesaling and the difference in that kind of stuff in the e-commerce space and how to leverage Amazon for some of that stuff. So if you're not familiar with that, you're going to learn a ton. If you are familiar with it, you're going to hear probably a tip or two for guys that are really doing this stuff. So we're just forever grateful to be able to bring them on. And I just want to share something. The whole idea that Rockstar was born around was the ability, buying properties to help live life on your terms, to build an alternate source of income, an alternate source of wealth instead of just the traditional path that I was sold when I was coming out of school. And that's why Rockstar was born, to help people buy properties and build wealth, and to truly live life on your terms. So when we have two Rockstar members who've gone off and done some of the work with us on properties and then built e-commerce business and come back to share what they've learned with other Rockstar members and through things like this podcast, it means the world to us. That's why we're here. It's the purpose of what we are doing, is to help people live life on their terms. So just forever grateful for these guys to share this information. This is hard to get information. So, we realize the quality of the information they're sharing, the character that they have. Just thrilled to have two guys like this share this kind of stuff. So, with that, if you want to understand what we're doing at Rockstar and what we run with the Rockstar Inner Circle membership, the best place to go for that is rockstarinnercircle.com/member. So rockstarinnercircle.com/member. You can find out all the details of what we run. It's a whole bunch of real estate related stuff, obviously, but every once in a while, people like Greg and Brian show up who are Rockstar members and do some pretty cool things, and they've agreed to teach classes, and they actually teach e-commerce classes now as part of the Rockstar Inner Circle membership. So just grateful to these guys in a bunch of ways. I have a few other things I want to share about, but too excited. Want to get to this episode. We covered a lot of great stuff, so let's just end it there and get on with the show. Okay, everyone. Hey, it's Tom. Nick's going to join us in a little while. He's been battling a few things with his daughter. She was up all night, so he might pop in, he might not pop in. But we are with Greg and Brian. I mentioned in my head, I keep thinking of you guys as like the e-commerce guys. I don't know if you guys ever want to be known as the e-commerce guys. Yeah, that's in my mind. But
I think this is better than Amazon guys, because a lot of people, they say, "Oh, this is the Amazon guy."
Yeah, I think so too, because you guys are more than about Amazon. You're selling online and doing some cool stuff. But listen, before we get to all that kind of fun stuff, Greg, why are you going to the gym as regularly? First of all, Greg, what got you to go to the gym was this something that you want always to do? But now you seem like you're going every day.
Not really always. I wasn't going to the gym for 30 years. But then, basically I'm a kind of a runner. So I ran already for 7 years, but I wasn't overweight, but, I was kind of chubby. So decided to, I went to Europe last year and gained probably around 4 kilograms. So I said that's
You are a European, talking about your weight in kilograms. Yeah. And that was enough?
That was enough. So I decided to change a little bit of my diet. And also started to exercise. So I joined a boot camp. So I started it in last year, May. In 3 months, I lost 25 pounds.
Wow.
And then I like doing it and just continue. So in October, I joined Radix with CrossFit.
And
so that's something.
Because now you're doing crazy stuff. You're doing deadlifts and squats and pull-ups and running kettlebells and box jumps. And
I'm basically the stiffest guy in the world.
Yeah, because we've all been hunched over a computer for so many years that your shoulders. When I first got there and started doing this stuff, my shoulders, I felt like I couldn't even put my hands over my head.
Wow.
It took like, I think 2 years of work to just get my hands kind of sort of over my head.
I'm not even there.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just because you're just sitting over the computer all the time.
Yeah.
But that's cool. And then I'm just curious. We've had a long week. I'm drinking some coffee today. I got some stuff up there. I've got that Alpha Brain stuff up behind your heads there. I got that mushroom, Forsomatic mushroom mix that I really like. Their brain mix. Do you guys take anything like? Are you tea person, coffee person?
Tea, green tea. Lately, I've been drinking white tea.
What's white tea?
It tastes like a softer version of green tea.
Got it. So
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, is it? I don't think the craziest tea I think I ever had is we went to New York at the hotel right by Central Park. I don't know the name of that hotel. It's been in so many movies. Park Plaza. I can't remember the name of it. And we had like high tea.
Okay.
And we got the little sandwiches. And I always wanted to try pu'er tea. Have you ever heard of
Pu'er
pu'er
tea?
tea?
No.
It's a real earthy type tea.
Oh, really?
Let me tell you, I'm never going to have that tea again. That was the worst. That is not a soft tea, Brian.
Tastes like mud.
It tasted like mud. So never for me again. But, and your morning routines, I'm curious. Well, you guys are both doing these e-commerce businesses. Are you guys morning guys, evening guys? And if you're a morning guy, what's the routine like? Brian, let's start with you.
I'm normally a late night kind of person. So like last night I was talking with people in China until about 3:30. So that's kind of a normal thing that happens most days. I've tried, I'll do for a few weeks where I get up early, 5:30, and try to do a regular routine. I'll get up and work out first thing in the morning at home, and get something to drink and eat, get cleaned up, and then do some reading, do some writing, and then do some work. Usually lasts a few weeks, and then I go back to late nights. Just sometimes you have to talk to these guys in Asia. There are 12 hours, the time zone's 12 hours off. So there's really no other way to do it.
Who are you talking to in Asia? This is your suppliers?
Agents or the manufacturers, the factories.
Okay, because you have hired agents. Talk right into the mic, Brian.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can pull it towards you if it's easier, or move it up or whatever. Don't be scared of it. Grab that thing.
It's like having something right here in your face.
No, you're good. You're good.
You're a technology guy, so you should not be
You
scared.
guys are both technology guys. You guys should be fine with all this stuff. So how does the agents work? You hire an agent to represent your interests to go find manufacturers over there?
Yeah, so there's sometimes there's two different kinds of agents really. There's one that we go after, we find, and they'll go after multiple manufacturers for us. We tell them what we're after, what we're looking for, and they'll use those criteria and go find the factories that can make what we want.
And how did you find a trustworthy agent? Because you fly over to China and meet them in person?
Yeah.
Or initially was a trial and error from here?
So we've gone over and we've used a couple of different agents, and they all work a little differently. The ones we're with now we're happy with. We feel safe sending them our money because they kind of they hold the money in escrow as well. So we trust them with a lot. Everything from actually finding the right manufacturers, holding our money, making sure the vendors get paid, and doing inspections. So they do a lot of work for us. We really trust them. They're like our second bodies over there.
Okay, so you need an agent if you're doing this type of business.
It helps a lot.
Yep.
It takes care of so many things, like just the security of your money. In case the manufacturer doesn't deliver, the agent won't give the money over until they've inspected it and then we approve it.
So I don't get it. How did you find these agents? Like websites, they advertise, there's lists of these agents, or word of mouth?
No, we found it there when we actually visit China and visit the market.
So I'm such a rookie with this stuff. So when you visit China, what market are you visiting? You're visiting these trade shows where all the manufacturers are showing what products they have to offer?
Not really trade show. This trade show that we are going to, this is a physical market in Yiwu. So it's approximately 4-hour drive from Shanghai. And it's pretty big. It's about 70,000 stores inside. It's 5 stories high, about 3 miles long.
So when he says pretty big, he actually means like the largest permanent market in the world.
This is constantly operating?
Yes.
It's not like just like a Friday to Sunday show that you go and visit?
No, this is why it's different than anywhere else. It's not just a setup once or twice a year. It is a permanent physical setup.
And where is this? PU?
Yiwu.
EU. EU?
YIWU.
I think I'm Ewok. I just think of the Jedi. I'm just thinking of Star Wars. Okay.
Jedi.
So you go to this thing. So everyone from around the world who wants to deal with or find products from China, this is one of the locations they can go to find stuff.
Definitely one of the places to go to. Yeah.
Okay.
There's approximately, I think, 200 countries that basically buy the stuff from this place.
And the reason you want to go there in person is to see the quality of the product or get product ideas?
That's part of it. Yeah, just to hold it in your hand and also to make changes to products. So we'll often not buy stuff right off the shelf. We want to make something that's unique, something that fulfills a customer need. We don't want to be just another copycat product. So we'll make changes, and we want to see the changes as quick as possible and to see if they can actually do it the way we want it. Oftentimes, like, if you contact, I had the experience where I contacted 50 manufacturers for my first product on Alibaba.com. That's where we started off. Both of us started off buying products off Alibaba.
That's where I hear everyone starts off.
That's kind of a default. I mean, it's like the Amazon for manufacturers. So you go there. So, 50 people contact them. Out of 50 people, out of 50 manufacturers, I got a reply from maybe 10 of them. Reply from 20 of them, but 10 of them I could actually read, that I could do something with. So of those 10, I ended up getting 5 samples. One of them ended up showing up 2 months later, so those don't count. 4 samples did show up, and only one of them was what I asked for, and they became a manufacturer just by default. So that gives you an idea of how much work it takes up front. So when you go there in person, you can do this process very quickly, sometimes in hours, versus taking weeks if you're doing it on Alibaba. That's one of the big differences of going in person. And you can really accelerate the process.
And when you say make changes, you'll ask them to make a change, a product design change to a product, and then you'll be there for, how long do you guys go when you go to your China trips? Is it a week or something?
More
Like,
than
are they
a
going to
week.
go make an adjustment and show it to you before you leave?
In some cases, yeah. So it'll be 9-10 days that we're there. We'll be sourcing for 6 days, basically full time in the market. 9 to 5. 5 o'clock, the lights shut off. It's different than here.
That's the way they tell everyone to leave.
Yeah.
And you have to leave because then
Why?
you'll
Do
be
they release lions into the...
no, they shut out. The doors are closed, and you have
Really,
to
eh?
find the doors.
Yeah, with bicycle locks. Like
Yeah.
they actually go
No
and
way.
chain
Oh, yeah.
the doors. Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's
sounds
different
like
than here.
It sounds like you guys know this because you almost didn't get out one time.
Many times.
Many
Most
times
days.
you have to find the right exit because all the doors, the main ones, are shut down, and there is no light. You have to use your phone with the light, and just
Do you
going.
see, are other people... Oh, yeah. What's going on here? Wait a second. Are there other, like, North Americans there also
Yeah.
using their cell phone flashlights to
Yeah,
try to
There
get
is. Yeah. Yeah. And usually...
This is chaos.
And at the end of the day, everyone's
It's
got a
China.
flashlight out. Everyone's got a flashlight, and you're trying to do paperwork right at 5 o'clock with the lights off. And people are always huddled in the back of the store with a flashlight trying to write up orders. This is a common
So this
every
is
day.
ground zero for someone. So if you're going to start something serious, well, let me ask you: when did you decide you needed to go to China? Was it like after a year or a certain volume of sales? Like when was it like, oh my gosh, we got to go over there?
It was probably a year and a half
year
after.
and a half
For both of you,
because
you guys didn't know each other when you first. Did you guys go to China independently?
no
No, the first time
together.
we did go together with
Okay.
a group.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And you guys, just remind me again. You guys know each other through Rockstar here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys kind of
Yeah.
traded stories. You're both doing this, and let's go to China together.
Before that, we just we were meeting on a regular basis, so it's just exchanging information.
Yeah, got it.
Usually, got coffee here and there, and then talk about things.
Yeah.
What works, what doesn't work, and just a small mastermind group.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so you go over there. The deals are done at the end. You lock the. You have to escape, otherwise they release lions, and you're eaten alive in this place.
It's crazy.
Wait,
It's like nowhere else in the world.
Yeah, no, it sounds. But you know what? I also just kind of. It sounds like opportunity to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have to go all the way to China, not everyone's going to do that.
That's right.
When you have to go through and use your flashlights at 5 p.m. while doors are being locked to complete deals, not everyone's going to feel comfortable doing that.
That's right.
When you have to get an agent, so tell me, the agents are there as well at these places?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's full of manufacturers and agents.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
is that where you found your first agents?
Yeah. Yeah, they're there, and we've gone through a handful of different agents. They all work a little differently. Some communicate better than others.
Has anyone stolen your money?
No,
You've
no, we've
always-
never
Not
had.
really.
Yeah.
That's something
What
that
does not really mean?
We
They've messed up?
No,
but-
we've heard some stories, like when you purchase through Alibaba, then there's a bigger chance to get ripped. But when you are working together with a Chinese agencies. So there's a relationship. So we build up the relationship, and there is trust. So
Yeah.
Okay.
And manufacturers there and the agents, in general, don't want to rip you off. They want to do good business. They want to do right by you. They want you to come back. It's like any other business. Initial customer acquisition is high. It's high cost. They want you to come back. They want you to reorder from them because it's much easier on them if the same person comes back 2, 3, 5 times. So it's the same idea as here, but probably even more pronounced, where they want personal relationships. They call it guanxi. So when you're shaking hands, when you're having tea with them, that's building guanxi. It's building a relationship between people. And the more you have this personal connection, the more likely they are to help you along. Like, they'll work harder to get you better deals. They'll steer you more in the right direction. It's not like they won't if you're not.
So it's
close
a little
to them.
different than North America. There is a little bit of a process and a relationship building experience that can be used to be helpful to you.
It's a little more pronounced. Like here, it definitely helps to show up in person and shake hands. But there, it changes things quite dramatically.
Yeah, like I notice in Europe, when you're going to do business there, you're sitting down for a meal. Like, you're going to eat together, break bread together, and talk. If you just kind of show up, throw some money on the table, shake hands, people think you're some kind of arrogant, like, kind of asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to sit down and spend time together and develop this relationship. So there's a little bit of that going on. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, it's important.
Okay,
there. Yeah.
so you sign these deals. What do you when you call home and report back to your family that you're doing? First of all, do your North American cell phones work, or do you guys get Chinese cell phones over there?
You can do both. Myself, I've got a phone that works everywhere. So as soon as I land, it just works.
Okay.
Even up there.
Yeah, everywhere. Basically, every country we've gone to, it's been fine. But in general, you can get SIM cards everywhere. As long as it's a GSM phone, it'll work.
Okay. Do you have some kind of special phone, or?
It's a Google phone.
Yeah, it's actually from Google.
Okay.
It's a Google Fi phone, and
it's designed so that it's going to pick up at any cell networks
absolutely everywhere
around the world.
Yeah, I actually pay Google's my carrier. Like, I don't pay Bell or Rogers. So
yeah, you are a techie guy, Brian. I like it. This is where my heart lies.
It's these details, though. It's for me.
These are big deals.
I planned this probably 6 months before we went to China. I'm like, okay, what's everything I could possibly do to make the trip a little bit smoother? Well, one thing is communication. What can I do? So set things up so that this phone, I never have to think about it. Cross over to the US, cross over to China. It doesn't matter. As soon as I land, it'll connect and it's done.
You know what? Hearing you guys speak about this, and I have a bunch more stuff to ask, it's making me think that when we got into the real estate business, our understanding of technology really helped us. People don't understand that. Like, when we got in 2006, 2007, the real estate industry wasn't using like web pages to capture leads very well in any manner. Never mind measuring conversions and doing all this kind of stuff. And search engine optimization was like not really discussed. There were some services. So we kind of knew that stuff, and we leveraged that technology that we were using in the software industry, and we knew from the software industry into real estate. And it really, I think, propelled us forward and gave us a really good competitive advantage. It really helped our success. With you guys, just hearing you speak, I'm thinking it's kind of almost the reverse. It's very handy to be really good, and you need to have the tech skills in this e-commerce business to kind of, I think, maybe you don't. I think it's kind of like, it's the barrier. If you don't, you need to understand how Amazon works. You need to understand how things online are working. You need to understand some of these things. But I think the difference maker for you guys is understanding how things work outside of technology, like drop shipping and like private labeling and like the value of pulling people off of Amazon and building your own e-commerce brands. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like the reverse. Like, you need the tech skills to get started, but the real value is going to come from applying these other business skills on top of that.
I think, like a lot of businesses, you take the ideas from one business and you port it over to a different industry. And that makes you different than everyone else. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's just a simple idea in a different industry can change things entirely for you. Like Greg, I don't know about your experiences with the first freight forwarders you used, but the first guys that I used, it was fax. They wanted me to send them information by fax.
You had no fax?
I had no fax machine. I had to go find an online service and set up a fax machine. I kept telling them, you guys are crazy. why are we doing everything by fax to get this? It was a C shipment, everything by fax. Like, this is wrong. So just my knowledge of like, there's got to be I know there's a better way. I just haven't found it yet. Then the next people that I used for freight forwarding, they was all Excel spreadsheets, all filled in by hand. And okay, it's better, but let's go another step. The next people I found were they were doing everything in web forms. Okay, we're getting closer. Now everything, the freight forwarder that we're both using primarily, everything's automated online. It's a proper app. Like, everything, you can see where the ship is at any given point. Everything is, you get updates. Whereas before, this just
you
didn't
can
happen.
see your products like on the ocean coming
Yeah.
over here?
Yeah.
So they have some GPS tracker on what?
On the ship.
On the ship.
Yeah,
and
every
you know
ship.
what ship it's on.
Yeah.
And you can watch your ship on a little map come across the ocean.
One of the things I have behind me on my desk at home was is I've got 3 containers, 3 ships on the sea at the same time. It's just awesome to see that in factories and where the warehouses are. Like, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
the final
You're a
destination.
global enterprise.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here alone, in the basement of my house.
And yeah, there's ships.
Yeah, there's
coming
ships.
across.
Yeah,
so,
that's pretty cool.
Okay, so you go to China, you get these agents, they represent you, and then what? You're now getting private label products, or walk me through this. Like, what are you getting there?
So
Sure.
the private label is just basically like it's well-known process that a lot of big guys are using. Everybody, you go to Longos and or Costco. Costco is really famous for that, with their brand name Kirkland. So you see, for example, with diapers, you see Haggis, Pampers, and all, and then you have 2 skits of this, and then suddenly one time a Kirkland shows up, and then they are slowly pushing them out, and after a few months you only see Kirkland, and that happens all the time with products. They testing the market, and then
So they know Pampers sells. They make their own with their own brand,
Yeah.
Kirkland, and
You got
slowly push up Pampers and give themselves more shelf space.
and the same with Longos, with butter, with all products. You
Yeah.
can see Longos on the top.
And
This
is
a
that the
private
whole
label.
idea by people initially starting Amazon businesses that eventually lead to their e-commerce kind of sites and brands? Are they doing mostly private label? Is that what you guys are doing?
Yeah.
Private label?
Yeah.
Primarily, that's where most of our revenue is coming from. But that's only one way to do things. The other way that we're doing things is wholesaling.
Mhm.
So that's just reselling.
Okay, so can you map out the... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so wholesaling is just basically reselling someone else's product. So whether it's people who make the water, or whether it's people who make, if it's diapers, you're selling Pampers and Huggies. You're actually selling those products. So you buy them from a wholesaler, you buy a skid, and you sell them off, one at a time. It's the typical model of like, you buy in bulk and you sell off singles.
And you're able to do that because these guys you're buying from aren't selling themselves directly?
Most of the time, that's true. Sometimes there's
Okay.
other competitors, but usually these wholesalers, their model is they buy from many manufacturers,
Mhm.
and they make it available to people like us, anyone who's got a store, and they're just in the middle.
So then you're competing against other people doing the same thing. If you're
That's
better
right.
than
Mhm.
them, you can sell more products.
That's right. Usually,
Okay.
it's a matter of online. It's basically cost because the service is usually very similar between competitors. So most of the time, you're fighting on cost. So while you can do a high amount of volume that way, it's also it's a constant fight with other people, and it can get tiring. I started off doing more of this kind of thing. There's also a subset of wholesaling where you do arbitrage, online and retail arbitrage, where you're buying it, just a handful of items from stores at discount and online or in person, and you send it into Amazon or elsewhere online, and you resell it at a slightly higher rate. So like at Christmas time, like Hatchimals, for example, you know that there's only a handful available and people will pay a really high price if they can get their hands on them. So you buy all the Hatchimals from Walmart, you send them to Amazon, and you mark up the price. That model, on the one hand, it's you can do
easy.
volume.
It's volume. Is it? It sounds. That's how it would be the easiest to get started, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
It
not
definitely is.
doing product packaging. I know what I'm taking a guess at what's going to sell based on just what other products are already on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Even with the product research point of view, it's much easier to start because you can easily filter a lot of products that are already selling, and then just repeat, just buy the same products and put them on the market, and
Have you
sell
guys
them.
done the tour of Amazon? And I think it's Brampton here yet. Have you done that tour yet?
No.
No.
Do you know you can?
Yeah,
It's
I've-
open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
You can go and do the fulfillment center tour, and you see all the little robots lifting up all these shelving units and bringing them to the pickers who
That's
then
awesome.
pick the
Yep.
product, and they don't have to walk anywhere.
I'm looking forward to
You
doing
got
that.
to do it.
I got to
It's
see
like
it.
30 minutes. It's like a little Canada's Wonderland ride that you get to go walk through. Like it's, it's like a
Yeah.
TVO special. Remember those when we were kids and like
Yeah.
how the cookies are made? It's like a TVO special. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Even the amount of tape. So the guys who package products for Amazon up there, they don't even measure the tape. The computer screen in front of them knows what box. It tells them what
Wow.
box size to take,
Mhm.
and then based on what box size it told them to take for the packages that are coming down the conveyor belt to package, it outputs the right amount of tape.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like,
amazing.
It's insane.
They're a logistics company, more than anything else. They're the best in the world at it. Their shipping rates are unbelievable. They're untouchable.
Yeah, it's so cheap.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So map me through the process of wholesaling. Pretty easy. You can buy some product. You send it off to Amazon. You send up a wholesaling account that you're going to be a seller on Amazon.
Mm.
You send them a bunch of product, and then you can start selling it.
Yeah, with the wholesaler, basically say, "Can I buy your product?" Some will say, "No, you can't sell online." Many of them don't care. So you buy in bulk and then you resell it online, and hope that not too many other people are doing the same thing with the particular products that you chose.
And you set up a name for yourself on Amazon when you do that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have our own brands. So even with wholesale products, I'm selling under the same brands.
Okay.
But,
But when you're starting, you just come up with any random brand name
Yeah.
and you begin.
yeah,
Yes,
you don't
that's
have you don't have
Okay.
to register or trademark. Right
Okay.
now, our brands are trademarked, but from the beginning,
But there's
you
no
don't have to do
competitive
it.
advantage doing wholesaling. Otherwise, some money hit. Like I want to build an e-commerce business, so I want to leverage. I'm just thinking for me personally, if I'm going to go down that path, I want to leverage Amazon for its ability to get customers,
That's right.
right? Because they have customers.
Yeah.
But I eventually want to build my own brand. So is that more? Is that what you guys would consider private labeling, where you are coming to the table with your own brand?
Yeah, private labeling is going down the path of setting up your own brand with your own product, something you can take off of Amazon. So like you said, we see Amazon as a channel. Well, we talk a lot about it only because that's where the traffic is. Almost something like 40% of all sales, all online sales are done on Amazon in the West. So you have to use them. You really need to be on there to get the traffic, to get the eyeballs and to get the initial sales. That'll tell you if your product is something people actually want, if they like it. If it looks like it's working, then you can take things off Amazon, but start there, because that way you've got a known traffic source. You don't have to fight for the traffic, going through all the different pay-per-click advertising through Google or doing your own ads on Facebook.
Totally not worth it, and you might not have the margins if you're selling on Amazon to afford to do that.
That's right. So start there on Amazon, get rolling, see that it works, and then start expanding. You can start doing off Amazon advertising. You can do that once you know the product's working. But why spend the money before if you don't know the product's going to work at all?
And is that what you guys are both doing? Private label
Yep.
stuff now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And another point is just you can test the product as well. So what people likes, what people don't like, based on the reviews that we are getting, and then improve the products while we are still selling. So we always buy initial part. It's just 200, 300 pieces. We test the product if it's actually good or not, and what people like it about it, or what they don't, and then we change things to improve it, and then we sell it more.
So that's the neat thing about Amazon. They actually there's a bestseller rank on most products on their site. So from position number 1, the bestseller, all the way to millions and millions of positions. You can get an idea of how any product is selling. It's like a cheat code for doing business. You can go online right now and see that water bottles are selling at position number 29,000. So if you have an idea of what position 29,000 is doing, and position 200,000 is doing, and position 5,000 is doing, and there's software out there that will give you an idea of how many sales correlate with bestseller rank. You put that together, and now you can see how much any given product is selling, basically. It's like a cheat code.
So how do you get that? I want the cheat code. How do I get the cheat code? This reminds me so much of my search engine optimization days. But what, you just make a reseller account in Amazon and then you get these tools that allow you to go in and look at all the product sales and stuff?
Right now, anyone, even without an account, you can type Amazon.com, type in water bottle, and it's there on most product pages. It's page down.
Oh, it's right
there
on the product page on any product you pull up.
Pretty much almost every product. Yeah, there's a few categories where they're not sharing the bestseller rank, but most of them, it's right there. You basically page down after you find a product, and it's there. What they don't give you is the correlation of like how much does that mean it's selling. So there's services you can pay for. They're usually very inexpensive, and you can see how much any product is selling based on the bestseller rank.
Got it. So there's third party.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
So on any page, you just scroll down where? Right to the bottom?
Right
Product
there,
details, right here.
where the stars are.
Yeah.
So
1,600 customer reviews. Oh, Amazon bestseller rank.
There you
Number
go.
14 in home.
So that's a really hot seller. So that at 14
So this
in
was
home,
a shaker bottle.
So it's probably $100,000 a month seller.
Really, just from looking at that, that's what
Yeah.
you're thinking?
So
Yeah.
we used to do
Number
this by
14
hand.
in the home category.
That's huge.
Number 1 in sports and outdoors. Number 1 in
Wow.
home.
This
Yeah.
one is not really it's subcategory, but the main category in home, it's big.
It's big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this is a basic
Just a
shaker
bottle.
bottle.
Yeah, just a bottle.
Yeah. So that's a $1 million plus product.
Okay, so wow, that's ridiculous that a shaker bottle is $1 million. But you're thinking annual sales.
Yeah. That's one item.
100,000 a month. Yeah.
That's just one item. Yeah.
And with this product,
you guys
it's
both started smiling when we started talking about this. Yeah,
It's
so
exciting
Yeah, no,
stuff.
it's hugely exciting. To me, just thinking about it's hugely exciting because the hardest thing for most people who want to get into business for themselves is getting customers.
Yeah.
Amazon is the master. Amazon is basically a marketplace with all the customers.
Yeah.
So if I look at this, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll start on here. But I desperately want to pull off of Amazon and build my own brand.
For sure.
So then I'm thinking, just how do most people do that from what from your perspective? Like I'm thinking, okay, I will ship product. Inside the product, I'll put URLs to my own store. I can't remember if I can follow up in Amazon via email. I can't remember if Amazon does that. But then I might get my own Shopify store or whatever e-commerce platform I'm going to use and start building out my own store and trying to get repeat customers through that. Is that the model? That'd be
Basically,
the model I
yes.
would push you guys to if you're not doing that already.
Yeah, take the customer off Amazon as soon as you can without infringing on the terms of service. Amazon doesn't want you to take
they're not going
customers
to
off.
release I'm a huge Amazon customer. They're not releasing my email to you when I purchase
right.
one of your even though it's your product on Amazon. What do you get to know about me? Is it just like a customer ID number of something?
No, not really. We know everything. Your address and sometimes the telephone number.
Yeah.
Which
You obviously are going to know my name, like
your
you're doing
name.
the fulfillment.
Only
No.
the email is kind
So
of.
it's only the email address that's kind of hidden.
Yeah.
But we can still target you. You know,
So you have my address, so you can mail to me.
we can mail to
Without
you.
breaching their terms.
They don't really want you contacting customers unless
Okay.
it's specifically related to the order.
Got it.
Something that improves the customer experience and related to the order typically.
Okay. So I'm just checking up on the product.
Yeah, so you can
Is
do
that.
that.
Is that getting around it too easily?
You can send usually a couple of emails just to double check, hey, did the product, did it show up? Is it what you expected? Just do a little bit of that kind of thing. Kind of guide them towards leaving a review.
Okay.
So you can do that kind of thing, but you can't say, hey, and also come over to my Shopify
sure.
store. You
Why
can't,
would
absolutely can't.
Amazon's
You
not
can't do
going to
that.
kill their own business like that.
And they
Okay.
know how valuable the emails are. Like you talk about, emails being the probably the most valuable thing in a business, an email list. Amazon knows that. That's why they're not giving you the actual email addresses to people.
But if I can mail them and come up with a reason to mail my customers without breaching the terms of service in Amazon, so I'm talking about doing it ethically, I just feel like the old school mailbox is an untouched area where I have no competition these days. Like, I'm sure no one's doing that, but to me, like, I know there's a cost. You're going to have to pay for stamp and postage and do stuff out, but Nick and I are both like kind of hardcore direct response marketers. So I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I don't care if I don't have the email address. If I have the mailing address of them, they're already a customer. So in my eyes, they're a buyer. Like these people are buying.
There are even some services that you can do this. So
Do which, like,
they will be able to send a postcard to your customers. So you are able to retrieve a customer list from the system in a CVS format.
Yeah.
And and you can do a lot of stuff with that.
Got
You
it.
just
Even-
have to always remember though that it's Amazon's customer, even though it's your product. If it's
Yeah,
sold
got
on
it.
Amazon,
Okay.
they're not your customer, so
Yeah.
you're always going to be
Okay.
bound by their
There,
service.
yeah, okay, I see.
Terms
I
of
see the
service.
conflict. Okay, so if I'm wholesale, let me just get this straight. If I'm a wholesaler, I buy some. What were those toys you said at Walmart? Those little Hatchables? I buy-
Hatchimals, yeah.
Hatchimals
Yeah.
or whatever. I buy these freaking Hatchimals off Walmart. I see some price arbitrage opportunity where I can buy them from Walmart, put them on Amazon.
Yeah.
I sell them on Amazon. At that point, as a wholesaler, do I have customer information at all? I think you said yes. Like I
Yeah.
will, even if Amazon is fulfilling the delivery of the product, I still know the customer's
You do,
address.
yes.
Yeah, you
Yep.
do.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. And I know there's terms of service and stuff,
Yeah.
but I do know the customer's address and
do.
their name as well.
Yep.
Okay. Not their email address.
That's right.
Okay.
That's the only thing that's hidden. Any email that you send will go through Amazon system, so they can filter anything out of
I've got
website.
emails like that. It's a big, nasty, long
Yeah.
email
You got
address. It's a weird thing. Okay. And then if I'm private labeling, am I then, is it exactly the same? Because I am assuming if I'm private labeling, well, let me ask, do you put everything in Amazon's fulfillment centers, or because sometimes I buy stuff off Amazon that's clearly not coming from Amazon's fulfillment center. I just got a book like that the other day. So do you strategically choose to use Amazon's fulfillment centers, you guys, or do you ship yourselves manually?
Now, right now, we almost 100% we ship to Amazon as a
Okay.
FB,
Yeah.
So when that
FBA.
container, when your boats come and the little graphic comes and you see it hit the shore, Brian,
Yep.
then who's picking up the products off the boat and giving them to Amazon's fulfillment center? Is that part of another agent service?
The freight forwarder. So the people that picked it up at the port in China or from the factory, those same people, get it on the boat, get it across the ocean. Like they're managing it. They're like agents
Okay.
for
Take care of customs.
Yes, that's right. Customs duties, we pay the same people. And then they do the last mile. They'll have their own warehouse. So a third-party logistics warehouse, 3PL. It stays there until we start running low on stock on Amazon. And then we send from our warehouse, the 3PL warehouse, into Amazon as we need.
Okay. So you're renting space at this 3PL
Yeah.
warehouse
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. It ships over to Amazon. Amazon requires certain packaging, I assume. Like
Oh, yeah.
you have to have your company name on their address. Like who's dictating the packaging requirements to sell on Amazon? Amazon, or are there just some standard stuff you guys
Yeah,
should
there's
do?
a standard stuff that they will accept, and we just follow the rules.
Okay. They publish that on their website.
Yes.
Yeah, they're pretty clear, and,
Okay.
and it's usually a laundry list. Like it has to be, there's some exacting specifications.
So when I go to China and I find my product, I'm doing package design here in North America. Who's packaging it over there in China?
Yeah, the closer to the factory, the better.
Okay. Is it the factory itself that's also packaging it?
Yeah,
In
they can.
most
They
cases.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do it.
Okay.
But sometimes we basically put bundles as well, 2 or 3 different products into one packaging. So we just combine 2 or 3 different manufacturers into one.
Got it. So there's a company that will do that, combine some stuff.
Sometimes the manufacturer will do it. So if we have 3 different companies making stuff for us, then all has to go together. Usually we try to get like the main manufacturer to do all that for us in one place. So we'll say, hey, factory B and C, please send it all to factory A, and they'll put it in a box or put it in a bag for us.
Jeez,
And
this
package
sounds
it there.
like crazy logistic. Greg, you're going to be okay?
Yeah.
I don't lose you in this episode. That'll be the first time. Man down. Rest down. If you need to step out and use the washroom or get whatever.
No, I'm fine right now.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so the packaging's done there. You do the graphic design yourself. You send it over there. How do you check the packaging is any good? Do they send you some tests, samples?
Yeah, you always get samples.
Okay.
As many as it takes to
How
get
do you
it
know
right.
the sample's going to match what they ship in the actual container? Can I send you a better quality sample and send
That's
you
why
some
the
kind
agent
Sure
is
can.
there
of,
for.
okay, the agent's verifying that kind of stuff.
It
Okay.
definitely can happen.
Okay, so it makes it to the shores of North America. I rent some space by the port somewhere. Some logistics guys send it over into Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm private labeling, selling my own stuff through Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm making bucket loads of money doing this kind of stuff, and then I'm ideally trying to get people off of Amazon. Is there strategies you guys want to share? Like, I don't know how much is like top secret. Like, I'm not sharing that strategy. We can talk about that after. But is there something like, is it just basically getting your URL into the packaging to try to pull them over to your website?
That's the simplest. Yeah, if Amazon's listening, we always abide by terms of
No, we know.
service.
Yeah. We absolutely.
We love
But
you.
no, but like, how about just like normals? Yeah, like let's abide by their service and do it right.
Yes, for sure, and we always recommend that because there's just so much opportunity. Even doing it completely white hat and doing it right, there's no need to go outside it.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically
That,
putting.
by the way, in business has been another competitive advantage that Nick and I consider. Like, if we always just do the right thing by everyone, we know other people are not. So they're going to fall by the wayside, and we're just going to, like, we'll win by just being last man standing. Does
Eventually,
that make sense?
I agree. Eventually, by default, you'll end up winning.
Yeah.
We see this all the time with all kinds of strange tactics and cheating people do.
Do you remember the SEO world?
Yeah, I played around with that a little bit before finding you guys.
Into that. I was buying newsletters from these companies that were telling you like every month what the Google algorithm updates were going to be, and to like reposition your pages. It would just seem ridiculous to me even back then. Like, I knew it all, but Greg and I have some background together of where, and I was showing Greg about how we did some of our search engine optimization websites that you went and implemented for your consulting business. And if you just do it right, it just works better and longer. Like
for sure.
So
this came up like the Amazon reviews. There was a lot of black hat stuff happening with reviews.
I remember that. I was at some conferences where they were talking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and leaving nasty reviews, fake reviews all the time. Over time, Amazon did figure it out. It was a problem for a while, but about a year and a half ago, maybe even a couple years ago now, they really cleaned things up. Amazon removed thousands and thousands of reviews. So some of these products that had hundreds of reviews, they're actually mostly fake, and they got just reduced to just the handful of real reviews. So over time, it does even out.
Got it. Okay. So we were talking about some strategies. I'm just curious, like, is it just URL on your packaging to get them possibly over to check you out? Like, I'm thinking about some stuff, and I don't know if this breaches Amazon's terms of service, but like a coupon for their next purchase. But I don't know if Amazon's thinking that's
no. There is couponing as well. So even in the package, we always put the coupons 10%, 15% off.
Yeah.
We always
and Amazon's okay with that kind of stuff.
So we're manufacturers, so we can put whatever we want basically in on or in our package. So that's okay. As a manufacturer, you can put a website on there that says, "Hey, please come to this website to register for your warranty." Or if you want to learn more about our new products coming out, just sign up here on our website. So manufacturers, as private laborers. Labelers. We're allowed to do that.
Labelers.
Yeah, we're manufacturers, so that's allowed. So yeah, we put whether it's an insert or something on the box printed, we can do that.
Okay. Why are you saying as manufacturers we're allowed? Because if you were doing wholesaling, you can't. Is that why?
Yeah,
is that why you're saying as manufacturers we can?
If it's really hard to add something to a pre-manufactured product. Like if you put a sticker onto a package of water bottles, it's not original anymore. Like you've modified it. So you really can't be adding stuff to other people's products. If you're the manufacturer and it's printed on as part of your label or part of the native packaging, that's okay. But if you're just sticking stuff onto a pre-made product that's not yours, you really can't do that.
Yeah, got it. Okay. And then how are you guys currently, any updates on how to find products to sell? Are you guys doing just what we did there, looking at bestseller ranks? Because I mean, that's what I would kind of do. So look at the bestseller ranks. And I'm just trying to think, what's the arbitrage play here? You look at you're looking at what's selling well that has the least competition. Is that what it is?
Basically the gist of it, yeah.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, you got it. So if we're talking about private labeling, so we look to see what's selling. We look to see also what people love and hate about products and fix it. So you got to keep the stuff that people love because the reviews are all there. So
that's
just use
cool.
them.
So people are telling you.
Yeah, they're telling you hundreds or thousands of times in any given product. Just use it. And they'll tell you what they love about it, what they hate about it. So you got to keep the stuff they love, remove or fix the stuff they hate, and the stuff in between where they say, I like this, but I wish it had this. Those are options that you can ask the factory to add, and if it's not too much cost or trouble, you can maybe add that in. And now your product is a little bit different than the next guy's, and it's hopefully a little bit better. And should sell because you have some history of other similar products that are selling.
Like especially if you go into like the kitchen category or some of these categories where you just know their sales. Like I mean that's why there's always the info. Remember the slap chop? There's always something growing up, I feel like I watched more infomercials on like drying foods in that dryer, that little dehydration thing.
Yeah.
George Foreman. There's always kitchen stuff, so I got to think kitchen stuff selling like mad on Amazon as well.
And the bestseller rank will tell you. It'll tell you how it's
so
actually
there's
doing.
no guessing.
Yeah.
But the good ideas are always all around us. You know, you go to the store and I'm looking at items from a different perspective, you know, from the business.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many times, you know, you just like Home Sense store is my favorite one. So it's just right now I'm just going in
you
between.
can stand back and watch what people are bringing to the cash register.
Or just look at different items.
Yeah.
See where it is in the store too.
Yeah.
If it's right up front.
Yeah, where it is. And,
Yeah.
you know, you go to Home Depot, you just look up
See, when you
the
get
shelves.
into your own business, don't you drive your family mad? Because I will pull my son or my daughter aside and talk to them when I'm going to the store. Like, look what these guys are doing right here.
Yeah.
We're selling these products over here for triple what these ones are over here just because the color's blue and everybody wants the blue colored one, you know? And I'm like, I know it costs the same to make it. Maybe they're getting the blue ones less because they're ordering them in volume.
For me, it's like I know what it costs to make this bottle or this desk.
Drives you crazy to buy it.
I'm not spending $1,000 for this desk.
I know.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, as we look at my broken standing desk, this desk is lower than it should be even because the motor broke. And it just kind of sunk all the way to the bottom. And we're moving to new offices. We're under a year now, and I just refuse to buy a new desk. So now I'm just living with all this furniture until we junk it all and get all our brand new stuff. But it's the power of a brand. And I think that's why you want to build your own brand.
Yeah.
Right? Because as soon as someone attaches a brand name to something, it magically, and I know it's driving you mad right now, but you guys are going to be in a position 5 and 10 years from today where you're going to be the people making other people sick because you're going to have a brand that you can charge more money for your products because of that brand. I'm sure that's why you're doing what you're doing, trying to establish your own brand, correct?
Yeah. There's a bit of protection there, a bit of a, we'll call it a bit of a moat. For the most part, at first, your brand is just a make-believe thing that you're just slapping a name on your products. But over time, people will start to associate, whether it's quality or the quantity or the kind of customer service.
They're going to associate trust.
Over time, that is a real thing. And we've had customers.
Returning
I know
customers.
I've had customers already in the short time we've been doing this, really, coming back saying, I love your products. I'm going to keep buying your stuff. I look for your name. They've already said this.
Awesome. Yeah, good for you guys. So,
and then you can also diversify to different channels. Like, having a store at Amazon, it doesn't limit you to, only one platform. It's only a platform. So we can sell on eBay, we can go and Groupon and, other Walmart, Etsy,
your own Shopify store.
Totally. That applies in, that we tell that from a marketing perspective. When we help people out with their marketing of their business, we tell them once you figure out a message that pulls, so you guys are coming at it from the product point of view. I come at it from like the messaging point of view. I'm like, hey, once you know the marketing message that works on one media, for example, Facebook, you can just roll that out. You roll it out on Google. You could roll it out. You can put it on all the online platforms, but you can roll out the same thing on offline, radio, TV.
Yeah.
You now have a message that works. You're saying the same thing from the product point of view. Once you have a product that you know is a winner, you can put it on all the different platforms. That's one thing, but also different countries. So this is like right now we are selling in You're
US.
starting to smile again, so I know Greg is when he has an idea he just starts smiling as he talks about it.
This one is just what excites me.
This is a big one.
Yeah, you just there's no borders anymore. So
I remember Nick and I were at a conference in Washington D.C. It must have been probably at least 8 years ago now, and some guy was selling. Do you remember when information products were still all the rage? It was like this was the end of the days of ebooks, okay? But in the North American market had been saturated on ebooks. But this one fitness guy had like how to get six-pack abs, and he was selling this ebook for like I think it was $29. The North American market was kind of dying. That era was dying. Okay. But he translated it to all the different languages in Europe. Started selling it in Europe like gangbusters because he had zero competition over there. And then he took it to Asia. I have not seen that guy since. I think he just sleeps and he built a house out of money, I think. And he just sleeps in the middle of all his money. And I'm joking, we're not all about money by any means. I just mean when you see these opportunities, they're legitimate opportunities. So when you're saying that, Greg, it makes so much sense. Test market.
that's one thing, but there's a huge opportunity basically when you start in US and then Canada, then you go to Europe. Europe, Australia, India, and China. And right now we are taking products from China and selling them in the West countries. There's already a process going back, selling your own
into China.
Into China.
Now you're speaking my language, Greg, because you know what? At our last event, you were so busy talking to people, you didn't come into the economic update. Brian, did you come in?
I missed it.
We talked about China and how basically China right now is putting America in a bit of a checkmate position with their situation on the world's been basically dictated by the petrodollar for the last, I guess, 60 years, since 1944, essentially. And now with the Petro Yuan, their currency, so with oil being traded in their currency and different exchanges for other commodities, including things like gold and silver. So a country like Russia could sell their oil, get one for it, not keep the Chinese currency, but exchange it for gold.
Wow.
I mean, the world is changing drastically. And China's doing all this stuff because they have been the lowest cost provider from a labor point of view and a manufacturing point of view, but they're not going to sustain like that. And I think the brilliance out of China, if you can give them this credit, I don't know who the current guy in power is. I know he just changed their constitution or their laws or whatever, so he can basically rule forever, from my understanding, which is a good gig. But the brilliance of it there is they think out and they're planning for their country and their economy 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, where I feel like the Americans right now are thinking out every 4-year election cycle. And it's competitively and strategically, it's a disadvantage to think that way, where you can see China laying the groundwork to build up their middle class, almost because they have to if they don't want a revolution in that country. But it's going to present you as the seller a lot of middle class buyers.
They have a purchasing power.
They have the purchasing power. This is a massive trend, mega trend.
So
that we
it's
should
like
all be aware of.
Last year we've been to a conference in Detroit. It was Gateway made by Alibaba.
Jack Ma was there.
Yeah, so
it's pretty awesome.
Cool.
So like right now, their purchasing power, like the middle class is 300 million, but by 2022 it's going to double.
Which is crazy. So
It's
now
crazy.
already
It's
the middle
crazy.
class
It's crazy.
their middle class is about the same size as the entire population of the US.
US.
Just their middle class.
Crazy.
Think about the purchasing power of that group of people. And they purchase a lot more percentage-wise online than anywhere else. Amazing. It's like,
I think they buy everything through WeChat.
yes. Yeah.
Have you guys used that WeChat yet?
Yeah, basically it's required to deal with the suppliers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It basically, from what I've seen, just does everything. Just
You
one
can
app.
do everything. Even
I feel like I can make a restaurant reservation. I can pay you some money, check out some reviews
even
on a product.
even street
Everybody.
vendors, they have
using
everything.
Vendor push on a cart, he takes WeChat Pay. WePay.
Yeah.
I think it's
Is
called.
that what it's called?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
Alipay and
Alipay, WePay.
WePay. Yeah.
Got it.
Everyone takes it. And it's like they skipped
You
an
can
entire
rent a
generation.
bike. You just go to the bike, swipe your telephone, and
Yeah, bikes
rent-
are a different problem in China. They have them stacked up everywhere. There's rental bikes.
Do they?
Yeah, but people started leaving them all over the place, and then they didn't go back to collect them. So there's like piles of them in some
So they
places.
didn't. But when you leave them, don't you have to sign out with your app? Otherwise, you get like charged. They just don't care.
But it's a one-way thing. It's fine. They figure that someone else, the company figure that somebody else will come by at some point, pick it up, and take it back somewhere else. Like they'll bring it back to where it came from eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a ride-sharing thing with a bike. But you don't have to bring it back to where you got it from.
Yeah, got it. I know. I was doing that with scooters in San Diego a few months back.
Now they end up with piles of these
Yeah, got
bicycles
it.
everywhere.
Okay, so China, you're going to sell into China now. So what else? So for someone listening to this, if they're just going to, get started, I guess it's start thinking idea. Like, what do you tell people when they're going to get started with something like this?
Probably the easiest thing, just to get your feet wet, just to see if is this thing for real. You don't even need to set up a professional account on Amazon. You can set up an individual seller account. So you basically pay something like, I think it's like 60 cents per sale, something like that. Just sign up for that. It takes 2 minutes. It's no different than signing up for your own personal account. Just sellercentral.amazon.ca or .com. Sign up, and then find something around your house. It doesn't even have to be new. That's something also people don't realize. You don't have to sell just new stuff in Amazon. It can be used. As long as you list the condition, it's used, gently used, or very
You're
good
right,
condition.
I never thought about that, but I see those options all the time.
Yep.
Some people make a business of just doing that.
Used.
Yeah. So people are looking
That's
for
actually kind of brilliant, because if you have enough margin, if it's a product that's selling, and the used you're selling for a little bit less than what the new one's selling for, you might be killing it on margin.
your cost might be a fraction
Yeah.
of the new,
Yeah.
but you can still get 80% of the new cost.
Totally. Huh. So
Yeah.
some people are
That's
specializing.
what
in,
Amazon
Oh,
is doing as well. So when
Our own products.
with our own
Why
products.
doesn't do you ever think that? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff
When
like
when the customer
returns it.
returns the product, they will inspect, and they will buy it from us. So and then they will list this as a
Because they
Amazon
know
warehouse.
they know what they're going to be able to sell it for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're going to take over the world.
they have everything
Them and the
wrapped up.
Boston Dynamics robots guys that are sending robot warriors all over the
But
world.
that's
They're
why-
taking over. We're all finished. The robots are everywhere. Yeah, no, that's crazy.
But that's the easiest thing that people can
But
do.
you got to think in the back of your heads that you want to build your brand. You want to take advantage of this opportunity as soon and as hard and fast as possible, because why wouldn't Amazon do the Costco model with their Kirkland brand and just start white labeling everything at some point and just dominate the entire world?
They have started.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Even with
Amazon
and
Basics.
I see Amazon Basics. You know what I had to order? I had to order some USB cables. And I was going to get like the Apple ones or whatever. And I noticed there was Amazon Basics USB cables to plug in all your iPhone products.
Yeah, no.
It's smart.
Not only this, Amazon Basics is only one brand. Right now they are launching a pets product as well.
They've got.
Okay.
They've
Under
got.
the Amazon Basics name
No,
or no?
it's
No.
completely different name.
So you don't even know it's Amazon.
That's right. They've
yeah.
got something like, I think it was 20 something different brands
Yes.
that they're invested in. I'm sure that's changing all the time, but it's something like 20 different brands that they're invested in selling on Amazon right now, like directly. That's not taking into account all the vendor deals that they're making, like actual direct Amazon brands. No one knows for sure all of them, but yeah, they've got a bunch already. So they're already going down this path. I know there's some, upper scale men's clothing as well. There's a whole bunch of brands that they're working on.
You guys, because you've gotten into the space early, you guys have a great base of experience. Thank you. I know you guys are teaching classes here at Rockstar for Rockstar members, which is really weird because we're a real estate brokerage. But we tell everyone, look, we happen to be a real estate brokerage only because real estate has been a great vehicle to live life on your terms. We actually don't care. Nick says this all the time, that it could be anything. It just happened to be real estate was like a really good way for us to build some financial wealth for our families. So the fact that you guys are doing this is just another model to build something for you and your families. And so thank you for doing that. Where do you think you're headed? Because you guys are building your brands. Are you at some point you're going to have some cash to buy smaller brands at some point and roll them into are you guys going to, are you mapping out 5 and 10 years?
We are.
That's going to come your way.
Part of what we're doing here right now with you guys is we're teaching others to bring them all up to a similar level or exceeding us. I'm sure people will pass us. It's just the way the business is.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And over time, so we've got a few different things. So one is that we all help each other move up. A lot of the basic stuff takes a lot of time. If we can remove some of these barriers, everyone will get better. And looking further into the future, as these companies, as these brands start getting better and growing, we see us helping to facilitating merging some of these brands, possibly buying or investing in them within the group, working together, and then possibly packaging these things up and reselling them out to other investors. Similar to what you do with properties. You package them up, you sell 2 or 3 properties, you sell them off to somebody. So doing that kind of thing, growing together.
And we've said when you guys are ready to roll out even more education, I've said this already in the past, more education, more opportunities to help other people, especially locally here, kind of grow and do that. We're ready to share that message with people. Like, we believe in what you guys are doing. And so remember, we'll just keep talking about that when you guys are ready.
Awesome.
We're going to do that for sure. I know a bunch of people are going to China with you again. When's the next China trip?
August
15th.
15th.
August 15th.
Yeah, we're
And-
leaving on August 15th till the 23rd.
And you take a small group with you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's got to be a crazy trip, man.
It's
Especially when you're locked in with the lions running for you in that freaking place.
It's a culture shock. Everything's different. It really
Yeah.
is. And we try to let people know beforehand a little bit of what to expect. Everything from the money, culture, food, everything is different.
Yeah, got
Yeah.
it.
And
got it.
every city is different as
That's
well.
true.
Yeah. So, and what else? What are your families thinking about this? Are they getting involved with what you're doing at this point, or no? Do your friends know what you're doing? Your colleagues? Like, what about your whole network around you?
With friends, most of my friends, they think that I'm selling like Kijiji style. It's
You
just
got it.
basically.
Okay. I thought you were going to say they think I'm a drug dealer.
So that's a lot of people. They don't really understand the power in this.
Yeah, no concept.
With family, it's
That's the thing that bothers me, that we're still training our young
Yeah.
to get educated here in a typical expectation to walk out of university into a typical career. And you're telling me China is going to double their middle class by 2022?
Yeah.
By 2022?
It's like 4 years.
That
4
is
years.
changing the world. We can't even prepare for this kind of
No,
stuff, but
not
we're still
really.
in this old model of education.
Yeah.
Like, I just tell, I hope I'm sharing this message accurately with my kids and stuff. I just think something like the education is important. You need to know how to read and write and communicate and think analytically. Wow. Maybe I need to go back to school. But you need all these things, but you also need things like resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Resilience. Like, look at how resourceful you guys have been putting all this together. That is the skill you cannot teach.
But
Right?
that's what I see the power in teaching your own kids. Showing them how some things are difficult, but on the other hand, they are easy to approach and to achieve. Like, I see from my own experience with my daughter, even when she went with us last year to China, it's
Oh,
a
that's
matter.
cool. I didn't know she went.
Yeah, she went
Yeah.
there.
Cool.
So it was just a matter of showing her, one time, and then let her do the
go.
thing.
Yeah.
And
And it's
I
such
was
an open
amazed.
opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other careers that people are going into are jammed packed with competition. You present this opportunity. You can mold this to whatever you want it to be. You don't have to
Exactly.
think of it as selling product. You could be
That's
helping
right.
all kinds of people and following your passion and your true mission and your true calling, but using it through this channel that is wide open and competitively almost empty. Like, I know there's competition.
Yeah.
But come
Oh, yeah.
on, 10 years, it's going to be very different than today.
Yeah.
Every time we've seen an opportunity like this, it's the people who jump on now that really are able to take advantage of it.
And to show your kids, the real world, how the business is doing, it's amazing experience.
It's
That's why
amazing.
I'm taking my son
You-
right now with me as well.
Yeah, Alex is going to China.
Alex is going to
I
China.
didn't know Alex is sitting. You can't see this, but we didn't even talk about it. This is our first video. We think this is going to be also a video pod. We'll see if this is working. But Alex is behind the wall here controlling because he can't fit in the office right now. We're using a bunch of different cameras that are actually iPads that we're using as cameras. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah,
But,
pretty awesome.
Okay, so they think you're selling stuff on Kijiji, your kind of social network. What about yours, Brian?
My wife has always called me the Chandler Bing of the family, meaning that no one really knows what I do. It was like that when I was doing computer stuff, and it's like that now.
I love that. Don't you? Personally, I just love that.
I'm okay with it. For a while, I didn't know what to say I was doing. I was saying all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, basically.
You were saying that your parents still don't know what you do.
They don't know exactly what I do. No, not really. My wife just recently, so she started doing some copywriting for us on our
Awesome.
listings. So she's a great writer. She's much better than I am.
Awesome.
It's just, in 5 minutes.
Copywriting can make a huge difference.
It's and somebody who knows what they're, or just some people can just do
Yes.
it easily.
Yes.
It's painful for me to do it. I know how important it is, so I did it. But my wife in 5 minutes can do better than me sitting there for an hour
What
trying
a
to figure
resource.
something out.
That's huge, Brian.
So that's helped a lot. She's also starting doing stuff on. So Amazon's got all kinds of different programs. One of them is merch. You can basically create your own T-shirts on Amazon with no inventory. I don't want to turn into an Amazon commercial here. But so she started working on that as well, kind of a side thing.
Cool.
So that's still young and new in terms of the Amazon, the whole Amazon thing for her on the merch side. So she's just starting to do that. So I'm getting her involved a bit. My kids know that Daddy has a store of some kind. They don't really get it. They see all the samples.
Did they see the boats coming over the ocean on your little?
Unfortunately, no. So they never see containers. I mean, that's not coming to our house. But we've got samples and boxes piled up, many meters high and long. And they just want something to play with. If I have
so they have lots of inventory to mess around with.
They do. I try to keep them away from it.
How old are your kids?
7, 5, and 3.
Oh, you guys are busy.
And my 7-year-old this year. So we've got her thinking down these lines of like, you got to work for whatever it is that you want.
Awesome.
And we were in Florida, and she's like, I want spending money while I'm here. I want to buy stuff. Sure, figure out how to make money. So she managed to put together a lemonade stand with a little bit of help buying the product in the first place, but she's like, I want real lemons. It's going to be an awesome table. I need to make flyers. So she walked around the park where we were at.
Good for her.
Put signs up, and she made like $70 in like 2 hours.
Awesome.
That worked out pretty good.
Awesome.
That's better than most people make an hour.
The classic lemonade stand, man. You cannot go wrong.
It works well.
My son set one up many years ago. He's 16 now, so this has got to be like maybe 8-9 years ago, outside our house, a hot day, and it was getting busy, like legitimately busy, where then he had his sister, so my daughter started helping out, and then some neighbors' kids all said, hey, Aiden, do you want some help? And he made these kind of deals with them, like, hey, help me out. And all day they worked. Carol was going to Longo's to get inventory. I'm like, Aiden, you have to pay for your pink lemonade inventory over here. And so at the end of the day, he collected all his money, paid for his inventory, but then he learned such a valuable lesson. He paid for all the kids that were helping him. And that's he realized that after he paid everyone out, he wasn't left with very much at all. And I'm like, the deals you made with them were very generous. Do you see how generous they were? He learned some really because he was thinking that he had made all this money, but afterwards he had made some money, but not nearly as much as he thought he made. I thought, this is such a valuable. I was so happy.
That was
my daughter. Similar
lesson.
Experience. Similar. She paid her brother for helping. He manned the booth for a little while. She had to go back in and make some more lemonade. So in the end, I think she ended up with like $40 or something.
That's cool. That's a win.
But pretty awesome.
Yeah, cool. All right, so we're gonna have you back kind of regularly doing this stuff. I just love chat. Just selfishly, I love chatting with you guys. You're such great guys. Anything else that we wanted to be chatting about today? Oh, if someone wants to go to China with you guys, if someone's listening to this, you guys are great guys. Very rare that this opportunity would even open up. What what website can people go to for that? Because right now, what are you going to take up to maybe 10 people with you? 8, 9, 10 people?
20 max.
20 max.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've basically starting a wait list at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trip is just about full.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to go, they can get on your wait list maybe and let you know.
Yeah.
Because you might have some cancellations coming up. No. So it would be worth it to go.
Possible.
Okay. So where would someone go listening to this? Is there a URL or an email or what?
Yeah. sourcingtriptochina.gr8.com.
You couldn't have. You know what? We'll put that in the URL in the show notes of this as well. But repeat it again.
sourcingtriptochina.gr8.com. Like great, gr8.com.
Okay, sourcingtriptochina.gr8, the number 8.
The number
8.com. We'll also put that in the show notes here so people can click over to that. Anything else that you guys have going on that you want to share with anyone right now? I know some of the education stuff. When you guys are ready for that, we're definitely announcing that and sharing that with everybody. So stay tuned. If you're listening to this and you want more from these guys, I think you guys are going to be offering more education and stuff. If you're a Rockstar member, you're already getting classes in here that I tell everyone, just so you know, is I'm like, hey man, these classes, they're worth at least $5,000 each. Because I know when this information is this new, Nick and I would pay $5,000. We paid $5,000 to go to Austin, Texas, to sit in on someone giving us half the information that you guys share.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get this information, and the marketers that have it charge an arm and a leg. So we are very honored and grateful that you guys are giving this to Rockstar members. So thank you.
Well, we're thankful for the opportunity. Like we said, part of this is we'll all learn together. We'll all move up together. It's we've seen the power of groups. And groups have helped us, and we want to help as well, especially a local group.
A local group is,
totally.
I think that's the way to go.
I have this weird thing that in our new office, when we have our We'll have much more windows in our new office too. We won't have offices with no windows, but it would be so cool if you guys were there teaching stuff, but helping other businesses. And you guys had that little idea about having a bit of an incubator kind of situation coming up. Yeah, so want to just keep those conversations going. So that's
Sounds good.
Super cool.
Perfect.
But anything else for today, or we covered what we wanted to for today?
No, I think that's more or less.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
so
good.
much, guys.
Right, perfect.
I
Thank
really,
you.
really
Thank
appreciate you guys coming out. We're definitely doing this again. Feel honored. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey everyone, it's Tom Kradza. So hopefully you enjoyed that show. If you want any information about real estate investing and you're looking for books on real estate investing, we have 3 books that we give away. You can get them at rockstarinnercircle.com/books. That's rockstarinnercircle.com/books. 3 different books to choose from there, including the Income for Life for Canadians book, the Your Life, Your Terms book, and we have a Renegade real estate book, which is a collection of a bunch of articles we've written over the years. So we get good feedback on all 3 of those books. And you can get them at rockstarinnercircle.com/books. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. We're getting a kick out of doing this stuff. So if you're enjoying this podcast, if you could give us a review on iTunes, it really helps us. If you want to give us any feedback directly, you can email podcast@rockstarinnercircle.com. Give us any ideas of topics for the show, any guests you'd like interviewed. I think that's it for now. Talk to you soon. Until next time, your life, your terms.